Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing the book Days of Splendor, Days of Sorrow by Juliet Grey. This is the second book in her series about Marie Antoinette, and this one took me a long time to read and finish. It was just too long, and there really isn't much of a plot until the tail end of the book, and so this book is about Marie Antoinette and her reign as queen until the revolution hits, and it ends right there. And there really isn't a lot of plot, like I said before, until the tail end of the book. And it just kind of shows her life and her frivolity and her gambling and things like that, but there really isn't too big of a plot. She's just trying to get an heir, and because that was her main goal coming to France, was she has to produce an heir for France, and she does that, but it takes her a very, very long time. That is basically what goes on until the tail end of the book, and then it starts getting more and more fast-paced. And I didn't really like this, maybe because I do not know much about Marie Antoinette as I do other royals, but if you are into French royalty, I'm sure you will like this book. Let me know in the comment section if you are into French royalty. I don't know too much about them. I do know something, but not as much as I do about the Romanovs, for example. And one thing that I did like about this book is it puts Marie Antoinette in a better light than other books and other things. History has not been kind to her, but this puts her in a more sympathetic light. For example, a lot of historians in older books and in older history, she was said to let them eat cake whenever Paris was running out of bread, and this, she never said that. She never said that. That was a slander to her name, and this does not portray her as saying, well, then let them eat cake. She never said that, and this hasn't been, I think that has been kind of erased from newer books and newer adaptations of Marie Antoinette's life. And it just shows her as kind of what she was. She was really unprepared to rule. She was very frivolous, and she just didn't get it. She just didn't understand, and she really didn't like all the protocol, and I think that her and Louis the 16th would have been a lot better as just these country squires and maidens living in the country instead of king and queen of France. They just didn't I wouldn't know how to describe it. They just didn't understand. They didn't get it. For example, she had her quote-unquote country house, and she just thought that, oh, this is lovely. We're milking cows just like peasants do, when peasants were living horrible, horrible lives during this time. But she just didn't understand that she was, I guess, in this fantasy land, which was so different than what the country peasant and the country Parisian, the everyday Parisian was living. And she was named Madame Deficit, and this kind of shows in this book, this novel, why she was named Madame Deficit. She spent all this money on just dresses that she probably only wore once. And this was really, it was good, but it was just too long. It is almost 400 pages of just novel alone, and it didn't need to be this long because it doesn't really ramp up until the tail end of the book. And for someone like me that doesn't know a lot about French royalty, that got really confusing, just like I said with the Louis the 14th book that I read previously, it was my previous book that I read. It was Love and Louis XIV, and kind of the same thing going around. But that's just me. Again, I'm not trying to persuade anyone to not read this book. If you're into French history, French royalty, I'm sure you'll like this book if you're really into the detail, and this goes into a lot of detail. So if you're into that, pick up this book. I'm sure you will like it. But this was kind of a miss for me. Just like maybe if you don't know much about the Romanovs, I'm sure that stuff like that would be confusing to you. So that is just my opinion, and I am glad that this did not take me 3 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. We're making progress, guys. We're making progress. And my setup is a little different from previous videos that I've done. If you like this setup, I like it a lot better. I think it looks a lot nicer. So if you like this setup, let me know. And I love talking to you in the comment section, and I do try and get to you guys, but sometimes YouTube is being mean and it does not tell me whenever I get a good comment or a previous comment or a such and such. It just doesn't tell me for some strange reason. YouTube, get with that. So I do try and answer comments. I love talking to you guys, and as long as you're not rude and cursing me out, even if you have a different response, I will talk to you. So, and I'm not going to block people unless they're out and out rude and calling me names, because I do not need to hear that, and I want to try and get this more family friendly. I know that a lot of different people watch my channel, so I want to make it free for everyone. So yeah, that's all I want to say about this book and about my channel. The next book that I will be reading will be The Pleasure Trap, about diet, and I'll have some choice words to say about that maybe people might not agree with. I might be opening the floodgates. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.